Well, hello everybody. Today we're going to do a nighttime flight from, I believe it's from Cincinnati to Indianapolis. Let's see. Indeed. So I've already got a flight plan here. I didn't change anything except the altitude right here. And I only changed the approach procedure to ILS 23 right, Ryzen. I figured that looked the best, here to here. That'll work for me. It'll be a very short flight, only about 22 minutes. I've started the stopwatch in Navlog, and I always make sure it's a VFR flight. My spawn point is going to be right here. Let's go and jump in. Oh, it's starting to get daylight out. I didn't realize that. Well, we'll just make this a dawn flight then. Let's go ahead and do it. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, starting the aircraft. Turn on the batteries. Battery on. Then switch the APU master to on. Then start. Let go. It's going to take a long time to run up. When this APU gen off bus light comes on, then you'll know that the APU is on. So while we're waiting for that to happen, we'll go ahead and set up our FMC. Since I have everything figured out, I'm just going to go ahead and send to ATC and Avionics. Now you can see it already says execute. That's how you know it's been loaded up. And we're going to take a look at the runways. Arrival airport information, runway 23 right. Only a 3-knot headwind and a 5-knot crosswind. That looks good. So we'll keep that as it is. You want to check your runway status. And the only other thing we need to do is, again, click Arrival Airport Information, Charts, Approach, Runway 23 right, ILS, or Localizer 23 right. All we really need is the frequency, 111.75. We'll need to know that. But for now, let's go ahead and set up the FMC now. Go to legs page. Take out any route discontinuities by clicking the next waypoint. And then click over this one. And go to the next page, just looking over. Okay, that looks good. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to click Init Ref, Index, Performance. We have to fill this out. Zero fuel weight. You can find that here under Payload and Fuel, all the way at the top. 131.7. So that's what I'm going to put in. For reserve fuel, I'm going to put 0 pounds. Cost index 30. That's a number anywhere from 1 to 100. Dictates the performance of the aircraft, and it's to save wear and tear on the aircraft and also to save fuel. So I'm putting 30 in there. It's the cost index. I'm going to click N1 limit. My D rate, you can either do TO1 or TO2. And again, I'm going to put 30 over here, up here. That's going to give me 95% engine power. This is only going to be a short flight anyway. I'm going to click takeoff. We're going to click flaps 5 or choose 5. Put that into flaps 5. Now we have our takeoff speeds. I like to wait and do all that before clicking execute. Then I'll click execute. Then I'll click here to bring these all up. That's taken care of. Now let's come back up here and finish turning on the APU. The light is on, so we can we're going to switch APU generators 1 and 2 on, and switch the APU bleed air to on. And we can hear it run up. Now while that's doing that, I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to set up my ILS frequency. It was a 111.75. Then I'm just going to click here to swap active and standby frequencies. I'm going to do it for the other side as well. You can see it is indeed 111.75. Another thing you can look at here, we need to be at 2,600 feet to intercept the glide slope to bring us down to the runway. So we just keep that in mind. But we'll be able to see that in the legs page. If I come back up here, click legs page, you can see right before the runway here, 2,600 feet. So you don't really have to look at the charts, you just have to look here to be able to see that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up autopilot now. I put in 15,000 feet. It's going to be a short flight. And to look at our takeoff speeds, go to Init Ref, Index, Takeoff, 151. As a rule of thumb, you always want to go 10 higher. So we're going to put in 161. Now we're going to turn on flight directors on both sides, arm the auto throttle, turn on LNAV and VNAV. Now the autopilot's taken care of. Our ILS frequencies are sent. I'm going to go ahead and request pushback and then start the engines. We're going to push back to the right. We've taken off the parking brake. We're starting to move. Well, let's go ahead and start the aircraft. It's end of pushback, so I'm going to enable my parking brake again. Now we'll start the engines. Come down here to engine start, click it to right, turn engine 2 to ground, shift 1, watch the engine run up. When it gets to about 20, 15 or 20 is when I like to introduce fuel. I'm going to go ahead and introduce fuel. Now we'll wait for engine number 1 to run up. It might take a while, just so you know. Engine 1 is run up. We're going to switch the engine start to left side, to left. Switch engine 1 to ground. Shift 1, again, watch it run up. I'll wait for the N2 to reach around 20. Now introduce fuel. Going to introduce fuel. Wait for engine 2 to run up. Both engines are fully run up. Shift 7. First thing you want to do, switch ignition select to both. Click APU master to off. Make sure APU generators 1 and 2 are switched off. Switch off the APU bleed air. Now we're going to start from left to right, going column by column. Switch on my engines. Switch on my fuel pumps. I'm going to turn on yaw damper. And switch my left and right mode selectors to navigation. I'm going to come down here, turn on passenger supply, cabin utility supply. Then you're going to turn on generators 1 and 2. Your engines. We'll go to the next column here. Seatbelt sign to auto. Smoking sign to auto. Emergency exit lights to armed. Oh, another thing you can do is here, if you want to use the dome light, you could make it a little brighter. We turn on window heat. That's just window heat test. Don't worry about engine anti-ice or anything. Make sure all your hydraulic pumps are on. They're all on. Now we'll go to the next column. Turn on engine bleed air 1 and 2. And you'll hear that run up too. And switch your packs to auto. And your circulation fans to auto, which they're already on. And that's it. Engines are fully run up. APU is off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up takeoff flaps, 5%, flaps 5, takeoff flaps set. By the way, now that we can see our GPS line here, what I'm going to do is, as an extra step, I'm going to click heading select mode on, and then I'm going to line up the heading bug to intercept the GPS line, or to line up with it. That way, just in case we're going in the opposite direction of the GPS line, as soon as we click autopilot, it'll fly the heading bug until it reaches the GPS line, and then it'll switch over. Okay, we'll see you on the runway. Okay, here we are lined up on the runway. I'm going to go ahead and give up full throttle. Takeoff speed is set. Engines look good in the green. Airspeed's alive. Engine temps look good. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps 5 up. You want to look over here on the left side. Speed above 180. Flaps 1 up. I'm going to go ahead and click autopilot. You can see here, I'm going to put flaps all the way up here, even though we're coming down a little speed. I'm going to go ahead and put them all the way up. That'll help us get more speed. Now, here's a little trick you want to do. If you want to find out where your FMS line or your GPS line is, you can scroll out, and then you can help see it better. And there it is. Let's put it a little bit closer. When it gets close enough, it'll automatically switch from heading mode to navigation mode. We can see that here. It's in heading mode right now, and it'll switch over to LNAV as it gets close. You can probably watch that happen. Okay, we switched from heading bug to LNAV. You'll see that the heading select mode has been turned off. Now the aircraft's doing everything, including auto throttle. Since I'm above 10,000 feet and I see some clouds out here, Well, the clouds I'm not going to worry about too much, but I am going to turn on engine anti-ice. And while I'm here, turn off landing lights. Taxi lights are off. I should have turned them on. I actually didn't set up any lights, and I was supposed to. So that's one thing I missed. Anyway, we'll just go with wing lights, anti-collision, and also strobe and steady. You'll see that's where our top of descent is. This is our top of climb. This is our top of descent. I have to zoom in. I'll zoom out a little bit more. Zoom in a little bit more, sorry. There's our top of climb, and then there's our top of descent. Going back to the legs page, once we get to flight altitude, we'll dial in 2600 just for the runway. Okay, we are at flight altitude. Before we reach top of descent, we need to dial in 2600. 2600 is dialed in the altitude selector. That's all we have to do there. The plane will do everything else. We've reached top of descent, and we're already starting to come down. And the airplane will manage the speed for us as well. It's now at 270. Everything looks good so far. Now what I'm going to do now is arm the speed brake. I'm going to set the auto brake to 2. That'll help us stop after landing and should help us slow down the aircraft. And you can see the flight computer is still slowing down the aircraft. I want to go ahead and click approach mode. Approach mode has been armed. Localizer and glide slope are both on standby. See that down here? Still coming down. We're about to reach our ILS transition. ILS transition waypoint. Okay, we need to slow down the aircraft some. I'm going to go ahead and click speed intervention so I can see it up here. I'm going to dial it back. Try to help slow down the aircraft. I'm going to arm the speed brakes, air brakes. 40% maximum is what I like to do. And that's working. Starting to slow down now. Other thing we could do to slow down is set in flaps. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. I can put in up to flaps 5. You can see that here. I'll let you pause and read this. See what you need to flight speeds you need to be at with regard to which flaps. For example, flaps 15, you need to be below 200 knots. Putting in flaps 5, putting in flaps 10. I might lower my speed even more to about 180. And below 190, put in flaps 25. Flaps 15. Flaps 25. And go ahead and take off the speed brakes. Put them back to armed. We're at flaps 25. We're at speed 180, below 190. And we can already see the runway out in front of us here. Now one thing I want to do is come back here, click init ref, click index, click approach. 145 knots, 145 knots will be our landing speed. You just want to keep that in mind. The glide slope is here, the ILS glide slope. Still coming down. Hopefully we'll meet up with it. Intercepted soon. Bring my speed back again to 170.
2,500.
Just heard the warning for 2,500 feet. I'm going to go ahead and put the landing gear down. I have 3 green. Couldn't put my speed back to 155. I go ahead and put in full flaps. We have not reached the glide slope. We were too high. I'll take off autopilot. Bring it down myself. Bring my speed back to 150. Not sure why it didn't capture the glide slope. You always want to make sure, as a rule of thumb, you want to make sure the glide slope is above you, not below you. That's one thing I might have got wrong. But I did dial in 2600. I think this is a bug with the game. Anyway, concentrating on landing. Bring my speed back to 145. Looking good on the Papsies. 2 red, 2 white. I hate when that happens. I can't hear anything. Can't hear how I'm doing or anything. ATC's when they're talking to me. Anyway, it was a safe landing. It wasn't the best landing, but I'll take what I can get. At least we got her down safely. Let's go ahead and pull off here. Usually you'd stop after these lines, hold short, and request taxi to parking, but we're not going to do that. Just going to stop the plane here, show you how to shut it down. Parking brake in. Now the game has a bug where if I leave it on for too long, idling, it'll start rolling, even with the brakes enabled. So I'll turn off fuel, cut off fuel, and just come up here and switch everything off in the opposite as you did before. So just everything off. Turn off your engine bleed air, come over to the next column, turn all these off. We forgot to turn off engine anti-ice, turn off hydraulic pumps, then over here, turn off seat belts and smoking sign, emergency exit lights off. We're going to go ahead and switch these to off. Passenger cabin display off, and turn off generators 1 and 2. You can see that's lit up so that you know they're off, and turn off fuel pumps. And lastly, yaw damper off. Although we sort of switched that off before landing. Okay, that's it. Once everything's off, make sure your lights are off too. Switch your battery off. And that's it. Okay, if you like this, think about giving a like, think about subscribing. I really enjoyed this. Something very relaxing about flying a 737. Anyway, again, if you like this, think about giving a like, think about subscribing. But if not, hey, it's all love. See you in the next one. Bye.